And it's 7 o'clock on the dot. Oh my gosh, technology is working in our favor right now, knock on wood. Aloha, everybody. How's it? How's it? Welcome to Healing Hawaii with Karen Kaulana. I'm Karen Kaulana, and I'm so excited because tonight we're going to talk about all things Kumu Kahua Theater and Stew Rice, which is a popular play that was done back in the day. And one of the last productions of Stew Rice was done in 1995. And we are bringing that production's original cast back. It's like 25, 26 years later. And doing a play reading for Kumu Kahua Theater fundraiser on Saturday, July 17th, which is coming up this week, Saturday. But I'm so excited because I'm reuniting. I'm in the play, but I'm reuniting with my castmates, Sharon Aoki and Marcus Oshiro, and we might be joined by Amy Nishihara, hopefully. But hi, Sharon. Hi, Marcus.
Hey, Donna.
How's it,
Yay,
Donna?
Yeah, I'm calling you Donna.
Oh, they're calling me Donna because my name in the play is Donna. So they're calling me Donna. So I should call you Ruby and Shima because you're Russell, Shima, and Ruby. So I don't even remember what's Ruby's last name. Do you know Ruby's last name?
Ruby Yamanaka.
Oh, Yamanaka. I'm Donna Wong. So I'm Donna Wong.
That's right.
Ruby Yamanaka and Russell Shima, but we call him Shima in the play. His friends call him Shima. I'm so excited that you guys are here. Thank you so much for doing this interview with me.
Our pleasure.
I'm so excited. And so you guys are all at home on Oahu, right?
We're here, Honolulu.
Oh, yeah.
Wahiawa.
Wahiawa. I see the background in Wahiawa is so beautiful. Look at that sky and look at those trees. Oh my gosh, so, so beautiful. So for those of you just joining on, I'm interviewing my castmates from the popular play Stew Rice. We're bringing back our original cast from the last production in 1995, which was done for the 25th anniversary season of Kumu Kahua Theater. And this year, this past season, was the 50th season, anniversary season for Kumu Kahua Theater. I can't believe Kumu Kahua has been around for 50 years. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
50
Awesome.
years. Awesome. And so we're going to talk about Kumu Kahua Theater. If you don't know it, you should. And if you're not in Hawaii, when you come to Hawaii, you should visit our theater and come check out our shows. But right now, we've been doing it virtually online. So you could watch from anywhere in the world. As long as you have internet connection, you can watch Kumu Kahua Theater shows, including this show, Stew Rice, which will be read next week, Saturday, or this week, Saturday, July 17th at 7 p.m. Hawaii time. Our virtual doors open at 6:30, and you can watch it live stream for free on YouTube or on Facebook at the Kumu Kahua Facebook event page for Stew Rice, or Kumu Kahua's theater channel on YouTube at 7 o'clock, July 17th. Virtual doors open at 6:30. Come early, go online early, click in, check in, no tickets necessary. It's free to watch, and hopefully you'll be inspired to donate and support the theater. But I'm so excited because tonight we get to tell you about Stew Rice and tell you all the things that are going to happen next Saturday and what you're in store for. And I get to interview my castmates. I can put them on the hot seat and ask them questions. So I'm so happy you're here. I always start my show off with a prayer or a blessing. So you sure you guys don't want to say something? No? You want me to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, well, I do these prayers just to take a moment to breathe, to honor our source, who I call God, and to just be grateful and humble and just come together so we can openly hear each other and share and just take a moment in this crazy, chaotic world. Because sometimes we're so distracted and busy, and sometimes just to take a breath at a moment. So it doesn't matter what faith you practice, what belief you have, if you could just share this moment with us, even in breath, if it's not in prayer, if it's in breath, so we can connect to one another. It's really great and very and healing. So, dear Lord, to the highest God, the one with many names, we ask that you bless all those present in this interview and those watching now and perhaps later in the replay, that we all may be connected, blessed, healthy, and well, that we may enjoy each other's company, that we may share and touch the minds and hearts of all that are together here today, that we may have a successful and amazing and fun event on Saturday, July 17th, and that all people who come are touched with laughter, with memories, and with amazing joy. We are grateful for the privilege and the honor to come together 25 years later and share this beautiful story. We ask that you keep Ed and Jim close to you, the highest heaven, and that we hope we make them proud and that they're smiling and present with us. We thank you for all the gifts of our talents that we use to share. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 Look, you brought Amy. Your prayer
Amy's
brought
joining
Amy.
our prayer
Hey,
brought Amy
right down
Nishihara.
from above. Woo! Amy,
Yeah,
the
she
angel.
just- Hi, Amy.
Kumu Kahua angel.
Yeah, how are you, Amy? Thank you for joining us. Where
Oh.
are you?
Good. Sorry, I'm outside, so I hope the audio's okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. It's so awesome.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, thank you for jumping on. So I know some of our there's 7 in our cast, 6 main cast members, and then we have an understudy, Brian Mimura, who was really part of our cast. He was there with us every single performance, and he stepped in for Marcus and performed one show, I think one show, I think. Brian performed, but one, and then but he and the 6 main cast members are coming back on July 17th, Saturday, for this fundraiser event for Kumu Kahua Theater to read the play Stu Rice, and I'm so excited. So my castmates, this is Amy Nishihara. Amy, what character do you play?
I play the character Sharon,
Sharon.
one of the 3 girls.
Tell me about Sharon.
Wait, this gets confusing.
I know
Who's
because
Sharon?
your name is Sharon, but
What?
but
What?
Amy
So
plays
my character is Sharon. So I don't know how to describe her. You know, just easygoing, your typical local girl in the 1950s who's trying to they're just becoming the Japanese American, the typical Japanese Americans, so being Americanized.
Yeah, that's good. And she's kind of an instigator with some of the trouble we get into. She kind of stirs the pot a little bit, but she gets us into a lot of fun things and events. So that's awesome, Amy. I'm so glad you're here. And then Sharon by real name is playing who?
Ruby.
Ruby. Tell me about Ruby.
I think the name says it all.
Ooh. Ruby.
Just think of the Ruby and what is in that name. And every bit of that is what Ruby becomes and where Ruby goes.
Oh, Ruby. Okay, so Stu Rice is about friends, is about 3 boys are the main characters. And the story is told through Marcus Oshiro's character. So Marcus, tell me about your character. Who's your character? And tell me about him.
I play Russell Shima, and Russell is like the narrator. He opens the show and closes the show, but it's basically a show about 3 high school buddies back in 1958. They graduate from an all-boys school. I don't know what school, but all-boys school in 1958. And then they go their separate ways, and they come back in Act 2, 20 years later at their 20th high school reunion. And you know how that is.
Yeah, you know how that is.
I'm not going to give away the show. I mean,
Yeah.
You know, they're like best buddies, and you know all the fun things we remember being in high school. All of us.
Yes.
We try to bring that to the show through Jim's direction and Ed's writing. What it was like to be in high school in 1958. You know, what was the things going on? What was popular? What did people do? And how we felt about each other as high school classmates. And then 20 years later, coming back for your 20th reunion, because that's the, you know, that's the special one, right? And we all attended our 20th class reunion, didn't we, Sharon, Amy, Karen?
I think I did. I'm not sure. I gotta think about that.
So,
Okay. Uh, Amy?
Amy, Sharon, did you?
Yeah,
Marcus,
I went.
did you
I
go?
went to my 20th class reunion. Was it 20? It actually was during Stu Rice time.
Oh, wow.
1995 was our 20th reunion.
Oh, cool. Sharon, do you
Wow.
remember going to your reunion?
I remember going to a few reunions, and I'm probably the 20th, but I think a lot of them, it's kind of the same sort of story.
Yeah. Some people change, some people don't. Some people have changed a lot and have moved or grown far, and some people stay more the same. And this story has all of that, I think, all of that components in there. And it's set in Hawaii. It's very nostalgic. It's very local. And set in Hawaii. It's going to bring back so many memories for so many people. And we got to read the script for the first time as a group during a rehearsal yesterday. And by the way, I do want to mention, so the main story is about three boys. Russell Shima, played by Marcus Oshiro. And then there's Roland Zippy Ching, played by Jason Scott Lee. And there's Benjamin G. Tim Lee, played by Michael Sun Lee. So Jason and Michael couldn't be here tonight, but they will be with us on Saturday. We also have Brian Mimura, we call him Mimu, and he was an understudy with us, and he will be reading some of the lines with us too on Saturday, so he'll be back as well. And then the three boys invite this junior class of girls, or no, we're the seniors, they're the juniors, right? They invite us, the older women, to their dance, to their school dance.
The more experienced women,
the more experienced women, they invite the girls to their school dance in Act 1, and that's how the girls meet the boys. And well, you just got to watch and see how things unfold between the three girls and the three boys. So I play Donna Wong, and she's kind of, I don't want to say shy, but she's guarded. I'll say that. She's guarded. She's selective. She definitely has a mind of her own, and she doesn't want to play by the rules with everybody. Oh, she plays by the rules and not like loose. She doesn't get loose. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain Donna. What, Marcus? What are you pointing to?
Well, in my camera, I'm pointing to the person below me, and I think that's the Ruby character. Or should it be the other one? Should it be the Sharon character?
Oh. You mean because she's more loose or fun? They're the fun.
I didn't say loose. I didn't say loose. I just said maybe it's more progressive. I don't know.
Progressive. Okay. Look at Sharon's
Shima, really, Shima. How could you? How could you? We're live. You're not supposed to talk like that.
This is why in the play it gets chaotic too.
In the play, yeah.
It gets chaotic too between the boys and girls because they all have different personalities, and so they may or may not get along. Let's just put it that way. And then, like we said, then the boys graduate at the end of Act one, and we jump 20 years in the future to their 20th year reunion, and they are reunited with the girls too. And you get to see what happens with that mixture 20 years later. So the three girls are Amy, Sharon, and I, and the three boys are Marcus, Jason, and Mike. And I hope many of you have seen Stu Rice in 1995, which is amazing. If you remember coming, it was hard to get tickets. It was sold out. I remember people flying in like from other countries like Japan and stuff, like, and got tickets. Do you guys remember that? And the line would be like out the door. It was such a popular play. And I think for many reasons. One, we had Jason Scott Lee, of course, everybody. He was fresh off the heels of Jungle Book and Dragon and some of his feature films at the time. But we also had a very strong cast, a very strong director in Jim Nakamoto, and I want to talk about him tonight, and the playwright Ed Sakamoto. But the play itself touched people in many, many ways because it was so nostalgic, because it was so local, because it was so set here in Hawaii, and this whole chemistry between the boys and the girls, and the boys trying for the girls. And all of that just brings back memories for everybody. No matter where you grew up, there's some universal themes in there that is so fun, but also so touching. And so it touched everybody. So I want to ask you guys, well, first of all, what was it like reading the play yesterday? How did you feel after 25, 26 years to read the play together? How about Marcus? How did you feel?
It was rough. I mean, it was rough reading it for the first time in 26 years. But you know, there's some familiarity with the script itself. But I thought it was really special to see everybody and to hear everybody, and that brought back a flood of memories. Good memories, good feelings. And I remember some of the lines and the interpretation of those lines when I heard the other actors, the other performers in their scenes. And that kind of helped me in my interpretation as we move through the reading.
Yeah. Yeah, I teared up at the end.
26 years, well, yeah. Good stuff.
26 years, and we got to finally all come together yesterday on Zoom and practice for you guys, because we're going to read it for you guys next week, or this week, Saturday, July 17th, for the fundraiser for Kumu Kahua Theater. And you can all watch free, 7 o'clock Hawaii time. Doors open at 6:30 online, YouTube and Facebook. So Sharon, how did it feel reading the play yesterday? Jumping back into Ruby. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was really fun to actually, because I looked at the script before we read together, and I could, imagine the characters, but then to hear everyone's voices and the voices I remember and the ways in which they said the lines. And it just, like you said, Marcus, it just made the memories just flood right back. And I could imagine the stage or the place. And even like you said, you hear the other actors, and it does lift you to remember, like, what were you doing at that moment then? And let's put it right at that place and time. And it's pretty extraordinary. I mean, to 25 years later that we actually all can be together like this. I mean, if it weren't for Zoom, we wouldn't be doing this. It's extraordinary. Yeah.
That's so true. What a privilege and a blessing to be able to all come back together. And I got to give a shout out to Kitty Souza, who's probably watching, that you found Sharon for me, because Kitty is a volunteer and a dear friend and a volunteer with the theater Kumu Kahua. And I posted on Facebook, I'm looking for Sharon Aoki, because we were trying to find all the cast members, the original cast. and she called you up, right? She, one of the
Yes,
volunteers
yes.
called you up and asked you
Yes.
questions to make sure it was
Yes.
you. And that's how we found you, Sharon. You were the last piece of the puzzle that
And
we
I'll tell you,
found.
in this day and age, when I got the call, I was like, excuse me, who are you? Who are you? You know, is this some crank? Are you trying to get something from me? What's going on here? I had to grill her quite a bit before I would say like, oh, you're really for real. You are with Kumu. Okay. You know, ask her some test questions, make sure you really are for real.
That's
Yeah.
so awesome. But we, and we're so glad we all got to get reconnected, and that every single one of the original cast from 1995 agreed to do this. I feel like we're the local version of Friends, like, you know, the Friends TV show, because it's 3 guys, 3
Yeah.
girls, but this is like
Yeah.
the Hawaii version, and it was
Yeah.
around the same time,
That's it.
1995, that we did it. Yeah. And now they just did a reunion, and now we're doing a reunion. So like,
Yeah.
so same thing. Okay, Amy, what was it like for you reading the script yesterday and becoming Sharon again? Not that Sharon,
Oh my-
your character Sharon.
The character Sharon, yeah, I know, it was so nostalgic. I tell you, and I could see Ed and Jim, and as I see all of us reading, I thought his writing was such a genius, you know, and I could feel him watching over us. And how I read the lines, you know, I thought it was going to be rough, but it seems like he was guiding me, him and Jim, you know, Nakamoto, who was our director at the time. I mean, it was like, it was surreal. And then when I was
Wow.
watching the boys do their part, I started tearing up because the genius of the words and how it just flowed, you know, it's like, it's like he relived his life again. You know what I mean? He's reliving his life through all of us. You know, I can picture him saying these words with his boys, and I picture him when he was in Iolani school, you know, with his boys, and then trying to meet the private school girls, you know, and seeing his friends at the reunion. And I tell you, I mean, we're so lucky to have such a talented cast, because it's not easy to do, to just come after 20 something years to read something. I mean, to do even plays sometimes. So I'm really, really grateful and very, very fortunate. So thank you, Karen, and the Kumu Kahua Theater Committee for doing this again.
And Marcus and I are on the board and on the fundraising committee, and we didn't get to pick this though. This wasn't our idea. It was presented, and I'm so excited that it was presented and that we get this opportunity. So we feel blessed too, because it's an opportunity for us too. So yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But oh my gosh, yeah, everything you're saying, that's what I felt yesterday. And you guys all did amazing. When Sharon talked about the voices, like hearing your voices saying those lines, it like came right back. And Amy, you just jumped into that character. You were so perfect as Sharon.
No,
oh my gosh.
I was so nervous because I read it a couple times prior to the rehearsal, and I'm like, oh, I can't remember what I did. I'm like, but here, you know, but hearing everybody, you know, we all in a collective as together, all we doing is just reacting to each other because we love each other.
Yeah,
you know, have fun with each other. Like, how was it when we were high school? How was it 20 years later when we reunited again? You know, locals, you know, how locals get together again.
Yes.
But you know, hearing the boys talk, oh, I started getting so teary-eyed because the writing.
Yeah.
You know, the life lessons in 2 hours. That's amazing.
It was very powerful to me too, because when the script was read, I thought, wow, I don't think I understood or appreciated it even 26 years ago or 25 years ago. But when we read it now, I was like, whoa, yeah, there's some gems in there.
Yeah.
And the writing is just so natural. And it just takes you back to that time and that place. It's like just opening and stepping into this new, back in the day, like this time time and
Yeah.
place back in Hawaii.
Yeah.
What we definitely are going to remember Ed and Jim during this play reading on Saturday. Edward Sakamoto is the playwright who wrote Stu Rice, and he was there with us in 1995. He lived in LA, but he flew in and came for our tech rehearsals and came to watch the opening weekend of shows. He was there with us. And Jim Nakamoto was our director. And both Ed and Jim have a long legacy as a playwright, as a director, as a teacher, and have done many plays together. They have just this long legacy in Hawaii, especially at Kumu Kahua Theater. What are your memories of Ed Sakamoto and Jim Nakamoto? Do you have some memories to share?
I just remember Jim's energy. I mean, he was the epitome of, he was the Energizer Bunny. It's like he came in there and he had a plan and he knew what he was going to do, and just getting everybody together and just moving things forward, and always kind of that optimism, and he just was passionate and loved what he did.
Yes. Yes. Jim always had like a vision in mind, and he definitely was always involved, and such an amazing director. I felt so blessed. You know, many of you worked with Jim over the years in other shows, but I only worked with him in Stu Rice. And I feel very fortunate because he directed a lot of Ed's plays which had to do with Asian Americans, and I'm not Asian. And so I didn't think I would ever get to be in an Ed Sakamoto play or work with Jim, but I was so fortunate to get into Stu Rice. In fact, I was nervous because I auditioned and I didn't know if they would pick me because I wasn't Japanese and I wasn't Asian. But so grateful he took a chance on me and gave me a shot. And oh my gosh, I have so many memories of Jim, like going out to eat with him. He loved to go out to eat after the shows. We would go to Like Drive-In. We went to Like Drive-In a lot, I remember. But what are your memories of Ed and Jim, Marcus? Because you were in a lot of plays written by Ed Sakamoto and directed by Jim Nakamoto. Marcus, are you there?
Yeah, I'm really. Oh, sorry. Am I not there?
No, you're here. We can hear you now.
Oh, am I? Oh, yeah. No, I'm really doubly blessed to have known Jim Nakamoto and Ed Sakamoto, and like Amy, we got to perform under Jim Nakamoto's directorship, and of course many of Ed Sakamoto's plays. I mean, just great plays. I mean, just the writing itself was just great, and then we got to work with Jim. And I was just thinking about Jim last night. Pick up your cues. Pick up your cues.
Oh yeah.
And then I can imagine Ed Sakamoto in the back of Kumu Kahua on the third or fourth row, pacing back and forth, his arms across him, his eyes are closed, listening for his words, listening for what he wrote. And he knew when we were off script or we missed something, because it was that personal to Ed. But those are two short things I remember about Ed Sakamoto and Jim. Jim was a perfectionist, energizing body, like Sharon says. And we had some of the best meals and conversations after rehearsals, after shows. Like Drive-In, Zippy's on Vineyard. Really, just a great family within the playhouse.
That is so amazing that I love those memories that you shared, Marcus and Sharon. Thank you. Amy, what about you? You also worked with Ed and Jim a lot in other plays too. What are your memories?
And I still believe they're still with me. And because when we got the when I got the notice that we're gonna do rice, I went to the bookstore, and I always love the bookstore. I cannot believe I found 2 books of Ed. It's the
Wow.
this the trilogy and his plays, and his books of plays, 2 books of Ed Sakamoto. So I knew that he's with me, and he's with the cast. So I think the love of theater and the love of telling local stories, that Ed is so talented writer, and he knew that we had to preserve the stories of the Japanese American in Hawaii, like the 442, the people on the neighbor islands, the plantation days, the sugar plantation days, just trying to survive, and then trying to be an American, and the young generation having that
Struggle.
making the difference. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like Jim, he's so strict, he never had a nice thing, but I know because out of love. And I think he yelled at us and pushed us because he knew that we could do better, that we could find the inner. He trusted us to make our own decision. And he yelled at us, except for Michael Sunlee. He never yelled at Michael Sunlee, but he yelled at all of us because I think we had the potential of finding and going deeper. And for Ed, like Marcus said, he would just sit quietly and telepathy feed our line. You know what I mean? It's like he knew when we're one word off. He's amazing. I mean, he's an amazing writer. So I'm really grateful.
Yeah.
Really grateful to. And you were saying that his writing, his plays is universal. Don't have to be Japanese American. I think Ron Incarnation did his play.
Mm-hmm.
So it's universal. Yeah.
Yeah, and they did have diverse characters. He did
Right.
in his
So I loved
Kamiya
it.
trilogy, which is my favorite of Ed Sakamoto's plays besides Stu Rice, is his trilogy of plays, the Kamiya trilogy. And look at Amy at the park. And so about the Kamiya family, with both of you were in, right? You were in the trilogy of plays, Marcus and Amy, written by Ed and directed by Jim. Taste of Kona Coffee, Manoa Valley, and Life of the Land, where Ed Sakamoto plays, and those are some of my favorites. How did you guys get involved in Stu Rice? Did you all audition? Sharon, you were the managing director of Kumu Kahua Theater at the time, and you had not been in a play, though, right? I mean, you're an actress, but you had not been in a play at Kumu, right?
Oh, yeah, that's quite a story. Yeah, it was my second season with Kumu as a manager, and the season was set. He had the auditions, and that was great. And I have a story about when he found Jason. I can tell you that later.
Okay.
But he basically did his auditions, and then Jim came to me one day in the office and just asked me. He said, Sharon, I'm having a really hard time casting Ruby, and I'd really love for you to do that part. And I was like in shock, and I just sort of said, I said, no, Jim, I don't think that works. I said that doesn't work. I'm working behind the scenes, and there's plenty of talent in Hawaii, And he's like, no. And I said, look, no. And he says, well, just think about it, whatnot. Anyway, I just went away and said, you just find somebody. Anyway, he came back to me, and I just said to him, I said, well, I really had to think about it. And I then said, well, you really need to completely exhaust people in auditions, and if for some reason you can't find someone, I said, I'll only do it if I do actually a read for you and all of that. And then, well, just one thing came to another, and that was fate. It was just fated.
Wow.
Yeah. I had no intention on ever stepping on a Kumu stage, because I really felt very much that my role was a different role with the theater at the time. But it certainly gave me a great appreciation and an understanding for the completeness of the whole place. And it was a blessing. It was a real blessing.
And you
Yeah.
were amazing. So so blessed to have you in the cast.
Well,
Also, I remember auditioning, and I remember a lot of people auditioning. There was quite a few people at the auditions. And I remember it was either the next day or within a few days of the audition, I was at Ala Moana Shopping Center and I ran into Mike Lee. And Mike Lee and I started to talk about the auditions. So we were like, oh, how did you think you did? Because we didn't hear yet if we got the part. And we were both hoping that we would be cast. And so we said, oh, I don't know, you know how you're so self-critical. I don't know. I hope I did okay. I don't know. He didn't, say this or that. And so we were talking about the audition. It was so weird that I ran into Mike Lee at Ala Moana, like within days of the audition. And then it turned out we both got cast in the show. So that was really exciting. That was just so exciting that we both got in. And Marcus and Amy, did you guys audition or did Jim call you?
I think I did audition. I wasn't sure. I think I may have read for Zippy Ching.
Oh,
And I did also read for Russell Shima.
oh. So Zippy is the part that Jason got, and you got Russell Shima. So you read for both.
Yeah.
And Amy, do you remember your audition, or did you audition?
Yeah, I auditioned. Huh?
Oh, sorry, she's at the park.
Sorry. Yeah. No, I remember auditioning, and I was in a play. I was in Lisa Matsumoto play, so
Oh,
I couldn't
yes.
come to audition because we had a show, but he let me come in early, and he told me, there's no guarantee, but I would like you to read. So I did a private audition for Jim.
Wow.
I
Okay,
remember that. Yeah.
now, so it looks like all of us auditioned, and that includes Jason Scott Lee. People think that they may not realize, but he came in and auditioned, because I was there when he came in and auditioned, and he sat in the chairs with all the other actors, and he came in and he picked up the script and he read the script in front of everybody. We all had to audition in front of everybody in the same room. It was in the theater space where Kumu is now, on the corner of Merchant and Bethel in downtown Honolulu. And he walked in the door, everybody was like whispering, but it was like, is that Jason? And auditions. So Sharon, tell us what you remember.
well, what I remember is after the auditions were over, Jim gave me a call, and then he came into the office and he was so excited. And he said, Sharon, says, you would not believe what just happened. And I'm like, what? And he goes, I was holding the audition. And he said, and I was looking around, and I said, all of a sudden this guy from the back comes and he walks up in front, and he says, and it was Jason Scott Lee. And I'm like, oh, really? And he says, yes. He says, I said, what was he doing there? He says, well, he said he just wanted to do theater, and he heard about Kumu, and so he came and just wanted to try out for the show. And Jim was just beside himself, and everybody else was after that too. Everybody was like, oh my gosh. And so what do you think? So we're just, waiting for him to make his decision, which I think probably wasn't a hard one, but anyway. Yeah.
But I have to say, he did audition and he did do really well at the audition. So it wasn't like he just got the part. He read really well at the audition.
Yeah.
And I heard a different story. I heard that Jim didn't know who he was when he auditioned. Did anybody hear that story? That somebody whispered to Jim, told him. Marcus.
Yeah, I heard the same story. I don't think Jim really appreciated or knew who Jason Scott Lee was, the Dragon, Enter the Dragon, Jungle Book. I don't think Jim had any idea. But let me add that, Jason came in like anybody else and went through the cattle call and did the audition. And throughout the production, he worked just as hard as everybody else. And he knew it wasn't all about him. It was an ensemble piece. And Mike and I would tease each other because we knew we would we would laugh like it was only at the end of the show that they realized there were three girls and three guys. Because we always felt that we were playing on stage beneath the shadow of Jason Scott Lee. But that was just all kidding aside. He really treated all of us as equals and as an ensemble piece. He knew that each of us had to do our part, and we had a role to fulfill. And I and that was a takeaway from me. Working with someone like him, a professional Hollywood star, that he was really down to earth, local brother from Pro City, living out in Kahaluu someplace, but the nicest guy you ever met, and reflected who we are as Hawaii people well to the world. And I've always appreciated that about Jason Scott Lee.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And you know what's great is we didn't really have a lot of drama in our cast or in our play, right? Everybody got along. Everybody, we loved each other. We all worked hard. We all worked together. Shout out to our assistant director, Doris Taitano. Our costumer, I think sound design was
Yeah,
Keith
yeah.
Kashiwada. Michael Ing, who ran our sound every night and played Kaneko. All the crew. I mean, just everybody really worked hard and worked together. And I remember we would go out afterwards. Do you guys remember? We'd go out, get a drink at Aloha Tower across the street from Kumu, go to Like Like, go to restaurants, and really hang out as a group. And it was a lot of love. It was a lot of love. Is that what you guys remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me if you have any favorite memories from 1995, from the production in 1995 of Stu Rice. So I'll start. So in the background of my virtual background is Stu Rice, and people might wonder if they never saw the show, what's the cockroaches? Like what do cockroaches have to do with Stu Rice? And why is the play called Stu Rice? Well, for those two things, you got to come and watch the show. So you got to watch the show to see why it's called Stu Rice and why there's cockroaches around the name. But that's one of my favorite memories because there is a scene in the play with a cockroach. And do you guys remember when Jason, and I think all of us are on stage, the whole cast, when Jason played a prank on us and pulled out the big rubber cockroach, like this humongous rubber cockroach, and then he leaves the stage, and we're all on stage just dying laughter. And we used to get food from KC Drive-In. KC Drive-In used to provide us food every night. And I remember us girls, we used to eat the waffle dogs or the hot dogs from KC Drive-In. And I remember, Amy, you're like spitting hot dog out of your mouth because you're laughing so hard. And Mike Lee was literally on the floor, pounding the floor, laughing so hard. Everybody broke character pretty much. We couldn't go on with the scene because he played this prank on us with this giant cockroach and then split. That's not why the cockroaches are there. It's in the scene. But that's my favorite memory because of all the years I've done theater, that was the longest pause. I mean, we took a long time before we could continue that scene because everybody was laughing. And it wasn't just us, it was the audience was with us. They were laughing so hard and laughing with us. It was this huge prank. It was the best prank because he could do it and leave because he left and we're all the rest of the cast on the stage. That's my favorite memory, but I have so many memories. What are your memories from the 1995 production of Stu Rice? Sharon.
I think when you talk about that, the memory I have is what you're talking about. I mean, every show was completely sold out for weeks and weeks and weeks. We kept adding a show and adding a show and adding a show. And I mean, it was to the point where we actually had to be careful because of the fire codes. Yes. People wanted to sit, in between and take up every seat. And so what I remember is the audience, because as you said, Amy, the writing is so sharp and so spot on that people would laugh and laugh. I mean, it was just laughing, and the emotions. I mean, they would be with us, they'd be laughing, and then they'd be breathing, and then they'd hold their breath, and then they'd cry. I mean, it was just this huge emotional roller coaster with the cast and the audience every night. It was
Yes.
really fun.
That truly was for real. Like that's the feeling it was. Amy, what's your memories from 1995 from the show? Anything stand out? Any favorite memories?
You guys have such good memories. I just remember I had the time of my life. It was so much fun because I think I've been doing a lot of Kumu shows by then. And this is just like, I don't know, like the most outstanding one, I guess, because I got to play with such talented group and everybody was so talented. Everybody was so nice. It was so much fun. And, we had Jim to push us as performers, as an actor. So I guess to bring happiness to the people, it was like a great script for number one. And then, we also had Jason Scott Lee, who a local boy came back, he was successful. And then yet he was humble enough to come back. Oh, he wants to give back. What best way is to the grassroots theater. Kumu Kahua, so it's very honoring to be part of that. And we all had good fun, We all did stuff outside of rehearsals, outside of the plays. So that was fun. So I guess that memory and dynamics of everybody, everybody's so talented. So it's such an honor for me.
We're blessed to have you, Amy. Oh my gosh, you're so talented. Yeah, such good memories. Marcus, what are some of your memories or favorite moments from 1995's production of Stu Rice?
Well, I just enjoyed just the rehearsals, but even in the green room, in the rehearsal space, backstage before the show with Mike and Jason, they always kept me in stitches. Brian, Mike, and Jason are just extraordinary comedians, and they would just keep on dropping these one-liners, and they keep on teasing each other and making fun of each other. Kept me in stitches. I mean, I was always cracking up backstage. I had so much fun with them. One memory I have is I would do this bit with the ukulele. I would play "Rock Around the Clock," Buddy Holly's song on ukulele. 3-4 chords. Me, Mike Lee, Jason Scott Lee on stage before the great dance that we host. And I was playing it, and one of the strings broke. And it was so, it was like bang. and Mike started to crack up, and Jason, and we all started to crack up a little bit. And he said, "Well, wow, calm down." And we were all laughing, but that was fun. Live theater, right? I mean, the show must go on. You play the moment. You play the scene through, and there were such great performers. All of you guys, is that coming in and out of scenes, we knew that we could trust the person to pick us up, to push us forward. And it was fun. Every night was fun creating to a new and different audience. And there'll be different high points, different low points, different places that we got laugh here, different sobbing, quiet, drop of a pin kind of quiet. But I mean, it was just a fun time together. One of the best memories I have in the last 25 years, truly.
Yep, absolutely. And you know what? What a tribute to Ed's writing, like Amy said. It really was Ed's writing with that flow of taking you through the roller coaster of emotions of puberty and high school and relationships, and really writing that so well. And Jim's direction. Jim pulling that out of us and directing us. It's so funny you mentioned Jim getting mad, because my memory of Jim is so kind. He was always so kind to me, like just very, very kind. But as soon as you mention mad, I can kind of see his mad face. I can kind of see his mad face, and then throwing down a paper or something, and him getting like kind of red or angry. But that's not my common memory of him. My memory of him is so smiling, and his kindness is always just so kind. So that's my memory of Jim. But you talked about and I think this is why we're bringing this particular play back. It has not been done since we did it in 1995. They have not done another production of it. We were not the original production of it. The original production of it was done a few years before us. Keith Kashiwada played Jason's part, Zippy, Ching, and there were others in that play as well when they first did Stew Rice. And then I think we were the second production, but we were the last production of it, of Stew Rice. So shout out to the original cast and crew. I think Don Gohara might have been in it. I may be mistaken, but I didn't get to see the original, and I wish I did. Did any of you get to see?
I think Gary Nomura was also in it too.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. In the first production. So yeah. So shout out to all of those who did the original production of Stew Rice.
Yeah.
And then we did it in 1995, and then it hasn't been done since. And it's interesting because it was the most popular play.
It was done at on the mainland.
Oh, that's true.
East
Not at
West Players
Kumu Kahua
played
Theater.
yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Because I think Michael San Lee played Zippy. I think.
Oh,
that's
at
right.
East West Players.
That's right. I was talking about Kumu not doing it, but East West Players in LA did Stew Rice. You're right. You're right, Amy. And I think you're right. Mike was in it. Yes. Thank you for reminding me.
It's about time. It's about time that maybe Kumu Kahua think about remounting the show.
Yeah. Maybe the success of this one, this play reading of bringing it back. I just love that they asked all of us who did it last in 1995 to come back and do it. Why is Kumu Kahua Theater so special to you? We talked about the theater and coming back to this grassroots theater that tells stories. The mission of the people of Hawaii. That's the mission of Kumu Kahua Theater. It's the only theater in the world with this mission of telling stories for, by, and about the people of Hawaii. And what is special about Kumu to you, Marcus?
Well, Kumu Kahua is the only theater that is for, by, and about the people of Hawaii. It's such a rare, undiscovered gem that we have in our community, and I wish more people would learn about it, know about it, attend to our shows, and support the theater. It's the only one that I know of. We've been doing a great job over the last year doing COVID-19 and broadcasting our shows to over 35 different states, 8 different countries throughout the world. So there is an interest for the stories that we have here that are unique to the Hawaii people, Hawaii experience. It's just one of those places that cuts across all social, economic divisions among us, and really tells stories that are meaningful to us as a people, highlighting the cultures that we are, and really touching upon some of the more sensitive issues that we wrestle with, but in a very humane, universal way that tries to bring us together than divide us, And I think that's the beauty, and that's the mystery, and I think that's the value of having a theater like Kumu Kahua.
Yeah, exactly, Marcus. I so feel that everything you said, so true about Kumu Kahua Theater. It is so unique. There is no other theater like it in the world that is connected to the people here of this land, of diverse races, of diverse backgrounds, but connected to this aina, this place, throughout the whole archipelago. It is telling those stories, and that is what's so special. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me let me give you an example, real quick one. This past season we did a play about our newest immigrants to Hawaii, and those are the Micronesians. And to share the Micronesian experience
Mm.
about being a new immigrant to Hawaii, the challenges, and the realities that are faced by any new immigrant group. And I thought they did a terrific job of telling that story, explaining why the Marshallese are here. What is the relationship to the U.S. government? And what's the obligation that the U.S. government, America, has to those people? And the consequences of global warming, about nuclear testing, all the effects of, and explaining why they're here. But I thought it was great. And Kumu Kahua does those kind of shows. We take on those cutting edge types of shows. We've done shows about drug abuse. We've done shows about domestic violence. And I was in a show even dealing with internet predators, written by Dennis Carroll several years back. But Kumu Kahua does it in a local venue with local people, local artists, local performers, of relevance contemporary to the issues we face today. Um, Extraordinary. There's no other place like this, folks. Right, Sharon?
Yeah.
There's no other theater like that.
No other place. And shout out to Dr. Dennis Carroll, who is one of the founders of Kumu Kahua Theater.
Yeah.
He and a group from UH at the time, University of Hawaii Manoa Kennedy Theater, he brought a group together, and he noticed here in Hawaii that there was no theater that specifically told the stories of the people here. And so he created that theater, and that was Kumu Kahua Theater, which stands for Original Stage. It's gonna make me tear up thinking about Dennis and this vision he had, and now it's 50 years. It's 50 years. We did Stu Rice on the 25th anniversary, and now Kumu Kahua has been around for 50 years telling those stories. Sharon, why is Kumu special for you?
Well, like you said, it's extraordinary for a theater, any theater, to exist for 50 years. And for a small, local, nonprofit theater to maintain itself and have, as Marcus mentioned, the relevance it's had is just more than extraordinary. And I think what I always say is that art really is a reflection of the soul of a place, and Kumu expresses the soul of our islands, and as you said, the greater archipelago area, and in a way that you won't experience it via other mediums. And it's not just that, it's all this original work. It's playwrights who are writing, who are local, who know or are researching local, bringing those things forward. That's what makes it completely unique. No one else is doing that, and it's amazing. And I was just talking to a friend who heard I shared that this is happening, and she actually saw the show 25 years ago. And she said, I'm so looking forward to it, because I know that when I hear the voices and I hear the words, it's all going to flood back into my head. And she said, it was such a great time. And I remember the writing was so good. And it was so meaningful. Even though she's not from Hawaii, she lived here for a short period of time, and she got it. And this brought it to her. That's Kumu.
That is from the heart. Oh my gosh. Okay, so people need to watch the Stu Rice fundraiser. It is free, but it is a fundraiser for Kumu Kahua Theater, and it's not too late to jump in and sponsor it too. We are accepting sponsorships from $35 all the way to $5,000. If you're a $5,000 sponsor, you get a whole bunch of benefits, as well as a signed copy of the script from the cast, from the entire cast. But you can donate different amounts. You can donate $35 and get a social media shout out, recognition in production press release, You can give $70 and get that, plus a web page and virtual lobby recognition. You can give $140, get that, plus a testimonial with photo on social media. You can give $350, get all of that, plus a testimonial with photo in our virtual lobby that people see before the show. For $700, you get all of that, plus a video testimonial on social media for $1,400. And many people received an extra $1,400 from the government. If you wondering what you could do with that money, if it's something that you're able to donate, think about us as supporting the theater and local arts in Hawaii. And for that, you get all of the things I mentioned, plus recognition on our website, plus recognition in our lobby, for a virtual lobby for 1 year. For 1 year before all the shows, you'll be recognized. And for $2,500, you get all that. Plus, you get 4 Kumu Kahua Theater t-shirts and recognition in TV and radio ads. And of course, for $5,000, you get all of that, plus a signed copy of the script of Stu Rice and from the cast. And so I hope you would consider donating or sponsoring or supporting us. They will be asking for donations that night. Of course, you can come for free and watch for free. Everyone is included. Everyone is invited to enjoy the night. There's going to be trivia and you can win prizes. There's going to be our MCs are Will Kahele, a very popular local director, actor, playwright. Many people know him at Kumu Kahua Theater. He used to work at our box office and the office. And he will hold MC with Brooke Lee, KHON2's Brooke Lee, who was Miss Universe, Miss Hawaii, Miss USA. And so they'll be our MCs for the night. Our stage directions will be read by actress Amy Hill. And so a lot of local folks connected to the islands here that have some kind of connection here or from here. And of course, our original cast is back, and a lot of Kumu Kahua folks that you'll get to know. And if you're new to the theater, we welcome you and we ask you to come and join us and join the fun and check it out. So 7 o'clock, doors open virtually at 6:30 this Saturday, July 17th. And you can watch it at Kumu Kahua Theater's YouTube channel, live streaming, 7 o'clock Hawaii time Saturday. Or you can watch it on Facebook on their event page for Stu Rice, Kumu Kahua Theater's Stu Rice event page, either one. And you can watch it for free. If you need more information, you can always check out the Kumu Kahua website at kumukahua.org, kumukahua.org, or call the box office at 536-4441. That's 808, area code 808-536-4441. And you can get information from a live person that will call you back if they're not there, and or go to our website and get all the information. But please come and join us. And I want to just make a personal plea to all my friends and family out there. You know, normally we have our Calabash fundraiser every summer, and I sell tickets, and you all are wonderful and you buy tickets from me. And this time I don't really have tickets to sell you because we're doing it virtually and it's free and everyone's welcome. So I ask that in lieu of buying a ticket, that you donate your $50, that you would have purchased the ticket from me and donate it to Kumu like you're buying a ticket. Sorry, it's making me tear up. I don't know why. Why am I so emotional? But just to show your support, if you'd be willing, if I can get like 10 of my friends or family to make a $50 donation, just like you're buying a ticket for the Calabash. Because of COVID, we're not having the Calabash, so we're doing this fun event instead, and it will be fun, let me tell you. So please join us online and consider like buying a ticket, like giving your donation. So I hope you'll consider that, because you'll support such an amazing cause, and local theater needs your support. So I hope you'll join us. But I do want to show a quick video before we wrap this up. I know it's a little past 8.
Ooh.
But I wanted to just give a sneak peek of some of the pictures that Sharon shared, and a couple from Mike Lee shared of our 1995 production of Stu Rice.
Oh my God.
Yay! Yay! So fun to look at all those pictures. Thank you, Sharon, so much for digging those out from your archives.
Oh, couldn't believe I found them.
Those were so fun. I love
my God.
Jason's
Thank
picture
you.
as we're all on the couch for the Act 2 1978 shot, and we're all in our Act 2 costumes, and he's on the couch on the side. It's so funny, his face.
So zippy, so zippy.
Zippy. Oh, we miss you, the rest of your cast, but we can't wait to see you next this Saturday, July 17th, with everybody joining us for the reading of Stu Rice. We're also going to have video tributes to Ed and Jim with people sharing their memories and their stories. And like I said, there's going to be contests and prizes, and it's going to be such a great celebration of 50 years of Kumu Kahua Theater. And we're going to announce the plays for this coming season. So I am so thrilled and excited about that. What are you looking forward to, Sharon and Marcus, for this Saturday? And why should people watch?
Well, I think they need to watch and learn about the 5 new plays coming up this next season. It's going to start in a couple of months. These are just blockbusters. They're going to be great shows. I also like to give a shout out to our friends at Kumu Kahua, who about a month ago did a video. Remember that video, Karen?
Yes,
They're
I'm going to.
18 of our
Yes.
18 of our best friends came in and did a little montage promoting the fundraiser. I want to thank all of them. You know, all of them are some well-known actors and celebrities in the community sponsoring Kumu Kahua. I want to do Proud by Jim and Ed next week.
Yeah, and I do want to give a shout out because we already have 2 $5,000 donors that are sponsoring this fundraiser, and I want to thank them with deep gratitude and mahalo to these community supporters, and that is Island Insurance. I really want to thank Island Insurance. They've been huge in supporting Kumu Kahua Theater over the past year, and I really want to shout out to them and thank them so much for their community support. It takes a lot for a business to support local nonprofits during a time of COVID when all businesses are struggling, and it's huge. So Island Insurance, we thank you. And the Honolulu Star Advertiser, we thank you for also being a $5,000 sponsor. So we appreciate you both. And today in the Honolulu Star Advertiser, if you have your Sunday paper, section A, we have a big ad about Stu Rice and the links to watch on Saturday. Thank you so much for sharing that, Marcus. What about you, Sharon? Why should people watch, and what are you looking forward to?
Well, people should watch because this writing is amazing, Ed Sakamoto. Why it was so exciting back then will just come back. For those who haven't heard this show, you'll just learn and hear about a piece of Hawaii, but yet you can relate it to your own life because we've all gone to school and we've had a reunion of one sort or another, and you'll have a good time. And you'll be able to help this organization have another 50 years. And isn't that a wonderful thing? And for those who, for some reason, are not in a situation to give right now, you can just enjoy it. And when you can, come back. Just come back and you can give. That's why. And it's going to be a blast. That's it.
Yeah, bring your ohana, sit around the screen, put it on use your Roku and put it on your big screen.
Yeah.
And make a party out of it and watch the play reading of Stu Rice with all of these wonderful cast members and the folks at Kumu Kahua Theater. Let me tell you, local stories for local people and for all the people of Hawaii. So I'm so excited, and I hope you guys will join in the fun this Saturday, July 17th, 7 p.m. live. And before we go, do you guys have just 4 more minutes? I want to show that video that Marcus was talking about of all our friends talking about the theater and why we should support it. It was such a great effort, and shout out to Donna Blanchard who put that video together and interviewed all of us. So let me see if I could get that going. Here we go.
We need the support of our generous friends and donors.
Did you know our favorite local playhouse, Kumu Kahua Theater, has been evolving to the new normal and keeping its doors open virtually over the internet to continue the tradition of offering plays by, for, and about the people of Hawaii?
Well, we have been busy, and we're happy to report that in making lemonades out of lemon, Kumu Kahua Theater's online plays has been seen by viewers in over 35 states and 8 countries, including the neighbor islands and Oahu.
35 states and 8 countries.
Lemons from Lemonade.
The world premiere of Lee Cataluna's Aloha Attire set viewership records and confirmed our appeal to audiences worldwide.
But while we're able to continue our 50-year tradition of presenting original plays, COVID-19 restrictions slashed our annual subscriptions drastically by over 40%. And without box office sales, we're seeing red in operating funds for the next fiscal year and season.
And while we hope to soon return to our in-person performances, COVID-19 restrictions reduce our seating capacity.
We can no longer rely upon season subscriptions and ticket sales.
We need the support of our generous friends and donors.
Be assured that when we can present in person again, Kumu Kahua Theater will maintain and expand our viewers from all corners of the globe as well by continuing digital productions in tandem with in-person theater.
We would like to do this by keeping admission prices low so that students, minimum wage households, and fixed income families can also enjoy great local theater.
Great local theater.
To do all this and continue to offer our shows at pay what you will ticket prices to all virtual viewers,
we need the support of our generous friends and donors.
To kick off our fundraising efforts, Kumu Kahua Theater will have a special play reading of the late Edward Sakamoto's Stew Rice by the original cast from the 25th anniversary season in 1995, featuring actors Sharon Aoki, Karen Kaulana, Jason Scott Lee, Michael Sun Lee, Amy Nishihara,
and Marcus Oshiro.
As you may recall, Stew Rice is one of our community's favorite plays. It is one of Kumu Kahua Theater's most watched plays, as every performance sold out within days of availability.
This was when you had to telephone the box office or stand in line on show dates for tickets.
Theater critic Polly Warfield's review of Stew Rice said, gentle, tender, and unpretentious, imbued with goodwill and perception, Sakamoto's play has depths beneath its easygoing surface.
The event will be on July 17th, Saturday, online via YouTube and Facebook. It will be free to watch and widely advertised through print and digital media.
Our Masters of Ceremony will be KHON's Brooke Lee, 1997 Miss Hawaii, Miss USA, and Miss Universe, and award-winning actor, writer, and director, Will Kahele.
Brooke and will guide viewers through the 2-hour digital event that will include the live reading of Stew Rice, a tribute to Edward Sakamoto and director Jim Nakamoto. Announcement of our 2021 play contest winners and the plays that will be produced in our upcoming 51st season.
As little as $35 or $5,000 or some amount in between is all you need to be a sponsor for a theater by,
for, and about
the people of Hawaii.
Thank you for your support of Kumu Kahua Theater. We look forward to hearing from you soon and hope you will support this epic fundraising event.
Kumu Kahua Theater.
Plays by, for, and about
the people of Hawaii.
The people of Hawaii.
Mahalo.
A hui ho.
That was so awesome. And Marcus played a big role in putting that together as well and getting the people to come on. And thank you so much, Marcus. You've done a tremendous job. He's on the fundraising committee and he has worked so tirelessly and effortlessly to not effortlessly, a lot of effort in he makes it look effortless, put a lot of effort into putting this fundraiser together so that everybody will have a great time on Saturday night. So thank you, Marcus, for all that you're doing. That was a great video.
Thank you, Karen.
And thank you to all our friends. You're right. Thank you to all our friends who contributed to that and support the theater. And thank you, Sharon, so much for saying that that, you know, we've had this support from the community for the last 50. Now we just need that push to get through the next 50.
Yeah, so make some stew rice and come join us next Saturday.
Yes.
That's right.
Exactly. Make some stew rice and eat your stew rice and watch stew rice. Perfect. Yes. All right. I'm going to end with, what are you grateful for? Sharon, what are you grateful for?
I am grateful for all of you and everything that the people out there have done to make this possible. And let's all be together years to come.
Yes. Oh, that's awesome. Beautiful. Marcus, what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for Karen Kaulana being the mother hen of the Stew Rice fundraiser, taking care of all the loose ends and making sure that our T's are crossed, our I's are dotted. And Kumu Kahua Theater for giving all of us this great opportunity to perform and have our own cast reunion doing a play about a class reunion 25 years down the road. It's just extraordinary. We are blessed. Thank you, Keakua.
Yes, mahalo Keakua. Yes, and mahalo to you both, and mahalo to Amy. She had to hop off. She said, sorry guys, I have to go. I love you guys. Thank you. So mahalo nui to Amy, who had to hop off earlier, who was able to jump on for a little while from the park, from her pickleball game at the park. See how local style we are. Like full on local style, you just call in from the park. So, by the way, the play is in Pidgin, so just a heads up. So it's gonna be good fun, and yeah,
some of it, yeah,
some of it, yeah, a lot of it is in Pidgin. Some of it is so how we talk in Hawaii. And I also want to mention before we go, because I forgot to mention, if you cannot make the 7 o'clock show, but remember, come early, come at 6:30, because you want to see all the videos and all the pre-show stuff that they're going to show at 6:30. So jump on the YouTube and Facebook event early at 6:30. But it goes live at 7 with the MCs and the whole program and the reading. But if you miss it on Saturday, there is one chance to watch it again, and that's Sunday at 2 o'clock. Same on YouTube and Facebook event for free. And you can go at 2 o'clock Hawaii time on Sunday, July 18th, and watch the rebroadcast or the replay of it. It won't be live on Sunday. It'll be recorded from Saturday night, but they'll play it again on Sunday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Hawaii time, Sunday, July 18th. That's for all of our friends, neighbors, and family around the world or on the continent that it might be too late for them to tune in on Saturday. So you get that second chance to watch it. And I have had questions asking, why can't we show it, like have it shown, kept on for more time? Like, you know, show it so that people can watch it anytime or show it more often. Well, unfortunately, because of the rights to the script. So we have reserved the rights to the script to show it twice. So we could do it live and we could do the replay. So you get 2 chances to watch, but that's it. Because that's the rights that we have for to do the script. So, but shout out to Ed Sakamoto, our playwright, Jim Nakamoto, our director, who are no longer with us, but are with us no longer with us physically, but are definitely with us, like Amy said, in our hearts, on our minds, and definitely with us in spirit, for sure with us that night and with us now and always. And shout out to all of you who are going to be watching the reading of Stew Rice. Are you excited? I'm excited. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Saturday, July 17th. Mahalo, Marcus. Mahalo, Sharon.
Mahalo. Thank you.
Mahalo, Nui. Mahalo, everybody.
Mahalo.
See you Saturday.
See you Saturday, 6:30, 7 o'clock going live. Saturday, July 17th. Aloha.
Aloha.
Woo.